Hello everyone, just a typical day where I go out to the garden to forage for veggies for lunch. Um, Typically make a noodle soup and we'll find stuff to add in our soup. I normally go for green onions, garlic chive, and some type of veggie like bok choy. But today, let's get some of these French breakfast radishes and put them in our broth. We'll pick the larger ones. They're looking round this time. I think it's because the dirt, this is heavier soil, so they didn't get a chance to penetrate into the soil. Maybe this one will be, yeah, they're a little bit more round rather than cylindrical. So we have 3 so far. Let's get another one. We can also thin them out in the process of harvesting them and using them in our soup. Okay, let's go find some shallots. So for the shallots, I like to use the green portion to flavor the soup after it's done. And if we have shallots, I like to slice them thin and fry them so that they're nice and caramelized. So let's pick some of these here. There's not much of a shallot. They're soft, so we may not be able to fry too much up, if at all, this time around. Let's pick these larger ones. This is a volunteer African daisy. So take that out. Get these. I usually don't eat more than this amount of green onions at a time. So this stuff will end up being composted. We have quite a bit in our hugo bed back there. Down beneath are some arugula. We're not going to use that, but garlic chive. I'll take a wider shot. So garlic chive, they grow really well, and I run out of places for them, so I thought I'd grow it along the edge of the grass. It's kind of camouflaged in our lawn. So we'll go and cut some garlic chive. Here it is. We'll use a little bit more. Okay, these shallots, we'll see if there are actual shallot parts to slice up and fry. Okay, let's head back to our raised planter and get some veggies. Here's a quick update. It's getting cold, yeah, Owen. Stay inside, okay? What are these? I think these are broccoli plants. Let's see. Our labels. Yeah, these are purple sprouting broccoli, so that's how they're doing. We have some Chinese kale. These are Chinese kale that we're letting go to seed. And underneath, these are our bok choy, so we'll go ahead and harvest some of these for our soup, noodle soup. Let's see, I try to get the ones that are growing tightly together, so in process of harvesting, we're also thinning them out so that the other ones can get bigger. Okay, from the garden we have some fresh garlic chive, bok choy, some shallots, and then the green parts we'll use as scallion. And in addition to our typical harvest, we have some French breakfast radishes. They typically look oblong like this, and we have some round ones. The first time we ever harvested radishes, French breakfast radishes, we also happened to be lucky and have some fresh tuna from someone who fished it out of the waters. And I was making poke that day. After tasting these radishes for the first time, I noticed a hint of mustard in them. So they were sliced thin and added to poke, and it really complemented the poke well. And lastly, the greatest thing about having a garden and being able to harvest your vegetables is being able to get produce while in your PJs. So not something that you can do while going to the market. So we're gonna cook this up in our soup and enjoy it for lunch. Our shallot has been chopped, and we have green onions. I like a lot of green onions in my broth and soup. For the shallot part, it's been sliced, and then we're gonna fry this so that it can get a nice caramelization. Garlic chive have been sectioned. The bok choy have been cleaned, and the daikon radish are in the broth to soften. We got our rice noodles with green onions, our baby bok choy. The garlic chive just was thrown in here, and in this hot boiling soup, the baby bok choy will be nicely cooked. There goes some of our daikon radishes. We have some proteins there. And then last, we'll add in some of our fried shallots. It'll give it a nice caramelized and sweet flavor to our broth. I like to use a lot. Pardon the hands. And there we have it, our noodle soup. And this is a dish that I found myself kind of going back to now as a parent. It's a healthy dish, a very economical dish, and most of all, a very convenient dish to make at home. I can stay home all day, being a homebody. How did I forget the cilantro? We need some cilantro in our noodle soup. Let's pick some cilantro. And here's our Napa cabbage. Our first rose of the year is starting to blossom. This rose bush was initially in the front of the house, and when the house was landscaped, it got moved back here. And since we got this rose with the house, we don't know its cultivar, but it has this really nice red and orange flower. It reminds me of the pineapple popsicles